today because we are developing these assets. Okay. Oh, it's stuck.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I just kidding. You see how we flow with that? It's called flexibility. Yeah. So today's agenda, we will have our icebreaker. I'm going to ask one of you to do our, either online if you volunteer, but in person to read our meeting agreements. Then Sylvia is going to come and she's going to do some introductions. And then we're going to get right to our main focus of our CCA prioritization and really reviewing our domain and having our closing remarks and next steps. So today in the chat, if you're online, make sure you drop these in the chat. And for those of you who are here in person, I want you to take a piece of paper. We have some tablets there, some writing paper. This is your assignment. I want you to think about this. We each come with superpowers, and how we interact, how we resolve issues in our life, how we face challenges. We always go to our things, our solutions, solve situations or issues. So I want you to think about your own personal superpowers right now, because each of us has them. As we get ready to move forward in how we do things in our community, we got to use our superpowers. So I want you to think, I personally have Miss Marvel superpowers, so I just want to put that out there. Yeah. I am awesome with a sword. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I am not. So kind of write down and drop in the chat box. One or two, you might have two superpowers. Is it your heart, your head, or your hands? Or are you a divergent? All of the above. And don't be scared. I can. So I'm going to start with our first table. So those of you online, I want to make sure you can hear us as we travel. I'll start here. Who wants to? Oh, come on, Ted. Share your superpower.
My superpower is they're all of the other.
Okay, then. Diane.
My name is Diana. I think I'm all three also, particularly part of the passion.
And you know what? I'm going to ask you to give me one example. Why can you say that, please?
One of my superpowers is I'm doing small set. And I say my first superpower is my heart because compassion. And normally it's compassion that drives me to do what I do. And then from there would be my head because I figure out the plan, what to do with that compassion and start coordinating it and figuring out a way to step forward. And in my hands, because I have to be hands-on, I have to be with people, I have to be able to associate with others and work together as a team. So that's why I would be operating.
So her superpower is her mind.
Awesome. Is there anyone else that wants to share their superpower? How about online? How about online? Do you have anyone online that wants to jump in here and share your superpower in the chat box?
We do have a couple.
We do have a couple of reasons. Okay. So give us a second. We want to hear from you. I can read. Heart and hand. Daniel said heart and hand. Elar said brain. Oh, brain. Javier said brain. And I have a good heart too. Okay. I'm good at crafting and making stuff. Okay. Anything else? Oh, awesome blossom. Awesome blossom. You guys, we have some craftiness. We have some assets in the house. So we're going to move on to our meeting agreements. Do I have any volunteers that will read our meeting agreements for today? Either online or in person. Come. I'm going to let you just read those for us. Okay, my sister.
Hello, good morning. The meeting agreements are: be punctual, stay present and engaged and on topic. Put the focus on the future. Be authentic, yourself, one person speaks at a time. Agree to disagree respectfully, one of my favorite things in life. Finish your sentence, not your paragraph. Step up, step back. Exercise confidentiality when necessary. Be patient and open to the technology. Keep your video on as possible. Assume positive intentions. A rainy day will make flowers. Separate person from the road. Sorry. Be creative. Have fun. Yay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Now I'm going to have Sylvia Scott come, and she's going to introduce some wonderful people to those online and those in person. Be careful.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Buenos dias. Bienvenidos. Just wanted to introduce, we have new staff within the Best Start team. As the director of Best Start, we have established a really, really amazing team of hardworking people. And but I'd like to introduce 3 new staff. If David and Carla can come up here. And then we also have Omar. So Omar is online. Omar Gonzalez is our new community organizer, and you'll be getting to meet Omar. He'll be reaching out to a lot of people, just really wanting to get to know everybody that we have here at our partnership. We also have David de la Cruz, who is our new data manager, has everything data. So welcome, David. And we have Carla Garzon, who is our new partnership lead and policy analyst. So I'd like to welcome them.
Thank you.
And we're excited that our team has continuously grown, and it's going to be an amazing team, all the work that is done by everybody. I'd also just, in case anybody's new, in case anybody doesn't know, I'd also like to introduce Darrell and Stephanie, who are part of this team. Darrell Arnwine is our AV Best Start facilitator. And then we also have Stephanie Reyes, who is our program specialist. And then we also have an amazing team of our outreach department. And we have one of our reps here, Maylene Molina is here. She's one of our reps. But I also want to acknowledge a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes in getting these meetings ready, both in person and virtually. I want to thank our amazing translators, Carmen and Carlos, who are with us every single time. And so we're really thankful for that. And then our IT goddess, Miss Nadia herself, who keeps us running and at least try to be technology, get to where we need to be. So we appreciate everybody's work. There's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. But again, I'm really excited, and I want you as a partner with the community to know these people, know these faces. You will be interacting with them as we move forward. We will be, you know, when we're doing projects or committees or things like that, you'll be able to work more closely with the team. And I think we're moving on to the next part of the presentation. So let me see. Okay. So you've been hearing from us for over 6 months now, talking about a community change agenda and what it means and what we're looking to do. So what we started was we wanted to update and take a look at where we were as a Best Start community. And so part of what we did first was really take a look at what are the issues that are really impacting our community. And so you all, through conversation, through polling, through interviews, we concluded that there was 7 domains that we needed to look at that we thought were vital in our community. And so what we did during that time then is we took each one of those domains, for example, the domain of education, and we took a deep dive into each one of the domains, really gathering the data and looking at it and seeing it, how it impacts the Antelope Valley. So once we did that for several months, we got to the point where, as a community, you also voted on which 2 domains were going to be our top 2 domains. And what we ended up with was the domains of children, youth, and families, as well as the domains of education. And again, it doesn't mean that the other domains were not important. There's times when all these domains will actually intersect. And so we'll be dealing with a little bit of everything. But for the time being, these are the domains that we're working on. So what's our next step? Does this create our community change agenda? No, it's just still another step. So what we're going to be doing within the next couple of months and couple of meetings is start breaking them down to where we establish what parameters we're going to have in terms of our community change agenda. For example, if we take education, what are we looking at? We have to remember, we have to bring it to be focused on 0 to 5, but we also know that other things, affect it. So where do we look at? Do we look at childcare providers? Do we look at preschool? Do we look at kindergarten? So we'll start breaking a lot of these down to see how we can then connect the work that we want to do into a concise community change agenda. And I would think with the activities and the work that we're going to be doing in the next couple of months, I would say that by the end of December, we should have our community change agendas completed. So those are just a few of the next steps that we're going to have. And the last meeting we had, we talked a little bit about the results of the polling. We went over a little bit of the data that goes along with both education and child, youth, and families. What we're going to do today is, again, start the breakdown. We had a lot of really amazing conversations, and a lot of really good ideas came out of our conversation at our last meeting. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to break it down, and we're going to have breakout groups both virtually, and then we'll do here. And what we're going to be looking at is what we call unpacking this domain. So there's going to be 6 questions that Darrell and Carla will facilitate here, and then 6 questions that Omar and I will facilitate online. And just to review what those questions are, just to start thinking about it, when we're looking at children, youth, and families, what is the impact on 0 to 5? For this domain, what do you see as the opportunities that impact and address this domain? We started doing a little bit of this work at the last meeting, but we didn't finish, or some of our groups never even got to this part. We also want to look at who else in our community is doing work in this domain. We want to make sure that we don't go out and start reinventing the wheel. If there's already organizations that are doing some of this work, let's start becoming partners with them. Let's bring them in. Let's hear what their information is regarding some of this. We're also looking at what are some things that may be already going that are well done or that are going well related to this domain and topic. And what are some ways that you personally would like to support the domain topic? Some people may say, you know, my experience was through the education system. This was my experience. This is what I encountered. This is how I overcame it, or this is where the challenge still, persists. So it's really, we want to bring in your experience, your knowledge, because again, your experience and knowledge are key to making Best Start work. And your voice is really what's going to be guiding us. And really just, I think the last questions to kind of think about is, what more do we want to understand about this domain? We know when we did the data mats, they were pretty, they had a lot of information, but it didn't have all the information that's out there. There's clearly a lot of areas that we can look into once we create our community change agenda. So we'll do that for both children, youth, and families. We'll, as groups, we'll answer these questions, and then we'll do for about 20 minutes. Then we'll come back and share out what some of the answers that we got. Then we'll do that for education, another 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and share out. And it just really, like I said, this is just starting to do the breaking down of the domain. The domains themselves are very broad. So we have to think about how we want to make an impact on this in the community. What are the challenges? What are the barriers to making any kind of systemic change within these two systems? So we'll go ahead and get started. So Darrell,
as well as those who are in the room, maybe give me two positive things that you came up with in this particular domain. What is the impact for this domain? What do you see as an opportunity to impact or address this domain? For those of you who got far, we were right there at the crust. We didn't get a chance to answer what went well related to this domain and what we could personally do to make an impact. And but I want to start with this one. Do we want to do online first, Sylvia? You want to start?
Maybe.
Yeah, we can have Omar share. Yeah, you can use mine. Oh, mine is turned off though. I did. I'm on mute, so.
Omar, are you there to share?
Yes, I'm here. I can go ahead and share some of the items that we talked about. So primarily for the domain that we were talking about was the child, family, and youth. And then for some of the topics that we kind of touched on was bringing back cursive writing, as it's something that is sort of phasing out in schools at the moment. And with the digital age becoming more and more technologically advanced, it could also be a way of possibly leading to identity theft, seeing since computers can just go ahead and write the cursive or write, the signatures for people. So bringing back cursive in our group, they felt that that would be a great thing to bring back. Another thing would be extracurricular activities. We mentioned that the process for enrollment for students and children are a little bit too tedious and sometimes too stringent on either how many students they may have or just doing the signups for the parents, especially. I think for those that don't quite understand English, it can be difficult for them to go ahead and sign up their children. Something else was brain stimulation for children. Visiting programs that we currently have low referrals. The distance also plays a big role in this. And then transportation for events for children, youth, and families. And yeah, I mean, a big thing was either reading programs after school, which is what Diana spoke about, or after school programs, assisting with daycare sports, homework assistance specifically for working parents, what Sue brought. Having more of those we assist with either childcare and or just different recreations and assistance for the child, youth, and families. So.
Okay, so is there anyone here? Thank you, Omar, from our group that would like to share the first part of it. What is the impact on 0 to 5? And then for this domain, what do you see as the opportunities to impact this domain? Would anyone like to read some of our findings that we had? And I'm gonna pass this along. Yes, you did.
Okay, so some of the things we can unlearn as far as the opportunities that we see in some of what's going on right now. A lot of small organizations, churches, and different places are coming up with individual solutions. And our goal on that would be to get them to come together and maybe find some kind of a foundation so everybody's working on the same page and going towards the same goal. We also said that mentors and mentors for the parents are very important, because a lot of times parents just don't understand what it is to have a child. And if they had somebody that could teach them, that has gone before them, that's really important. And that type of, I feel like this, and we felt that people learn better from example if they have somebody mentoring them and somebody necessarily giving them a to read. Some of the things it's already having, the opportunities we have to reach people is through DCSS, doctor's offices, and nonprofits, and churches. As we said, they're doing stuff. And one of the ladies came up with a really great idea, is going to where the children and the parents are, going to the malls, going to those community spaces, the library, the Barnes and Nobles, the Starbucks, and also they have community boards in some of these places that people don't know about. My understanding, Starbucks in London, they have community boards that tell what's going on in the community for families. And that's important for us, so we let people know where this is and building relationships in the community. People don't really care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. If you can show them that you're empathetic and that you care about them and their children, they're more apt to listen to what you have to say and to use the resources available. But if they don't trust you first, they're going to be weary. So it all starts with building that relationship, and that's the most important thing you can do.
Okay. Also, who do we know in our community that is already making an impact for this domain 0 to 5? Kelly, you want to?
Oh, you just read this on the paper?
Yeah, just read this on the paper.
We have several community programs that are offering the child support for 0 to 5, which would be CPRC, child care providers, preschools, churches, Sycamore, LA Care, Penny Lane. There's some food banks, Lancaster Community Center, Project Joy, WIG, Children's Bureau, City of Lancaster. There's Maternity House, ADA, HFA, BIH, the Mentor Program, the YouTube program, which is with a purpose, Father Strong, and I think that's it.
Yeah. Valley Oasis.
And they're actually doing something for fathers at the end of this month.
Valley Oasis is doing something for fathers at the end of the month. Dedication, and that's going to be held at UAB. And they're going to talk about the impact that fathers have on this domain 0 to 5. So we do have quite a few organizations, community-based organizations, as well as established nonprofits that are geared toward working with these families 0 to 5. And there are more. So we want to make sure we continue to see who is already, as Sylvia said, who is already doing something that we can perhaps partnership with. We don't have to recreate the wheel. Maybe it's just getting that information out and partnering with those organizations that are doing something. But this is a part of our brainstorming. We reviewed the challenges. Now we're trying to find solutions. So at this time, we're going to break off again into our groups, but we're going to be focusing on education. Okay, so look at the questions. I want you to get same questions, but now it's for our domain for education. So I want you to get your mindset on what is the impact 0 to 5 for education. Think what's the impact of that? What do you see as an opportunity to impact education 0 to 5? What opportunities are, and the opportunities are limitless. So, you know, go beyond the borders. Just think outside the box. What opportunities? What are some opportunities? What can we do? And who else is already working on that? And what are some of the things going well related to this domain in education? We talked about what wasn't working, but what is working? I want you to get your mind in that lane. Be in the positive lane. Don't going down, I can do all things street. So think positive. All right? Got it? All right, we'll meet you here in 20 minutes. So we are back. And I know we had some great conversation here in person. I know you all online had some great ideas you came up with. So before we get started, I want you to get at least 2 or 3 ideas that you came up with for education as far as the impact, what the impact is for education for 0 to 5. And then let's hear some of your solutions or for this impact. What are some opportunities? Because we're thinking outside the box. What are some opportunities that are available for us to make an impact? So let's start with the in-person. Get someone come and, hold on, let me turn this on, and share at least 2 to 3 ideas of what we came up with that impacts education here in the Antelope Valley. What is the impact on 0 to 5 for this domain? What do you see as an opportunity to impact? Because we came up with some ideas, some great ideas. So who do I have that is going to volunteer in one talk? Come on, Kelly. Because you be looking like you got something. Yeah, come on, Kelly.
Some of the ideas that we were able to come up with the group was CCRC providing materials for the parents and for the providers, reading program, reading at the park. The city of Lancaster and Palmdale has tons of activities for the parents to participate in, but one challenge that we found is a lot of times the parents don't know about the activities. So we need to be able to bridge the gap between the activities being planned and the people who need to come to the activities. They need to know who we are and work together. So we're trying to develop some type of multimedia expansion program or something. It could be old school telephone trees or email blasts or a designated Facebook page for the parents to be able to go to find all of the information. Because sometimes it's just a matter of typing it in. Where can I get a car seat? Who's giving out food this week? Who's having a child activity for 0 to 5, instead of looking to list online of ambiguous information, they need to go straight to Lancaster, or is it straight in Palmdale or Little Rock or Acton or something like that, just for 0 to 5. So for that age group, sometimes it's difficult to find activities specifically just for them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. So even as we were brainstorming, we also came up, I like this idea that you all came up with too, teaching parent literacy to support child literacy. So coming up, this is how we make an impact on education, 0 to 5. If there are parents that are in need of literacy teaching, we could teach or help the parents with literacy education as they're teaching their child. Educating parents on meal planning, healthy living. This impacts education. It impacts on library story time. So we had a lot. So I want to go to those who are online. Sylvia, I'm going to give this to you. So I want to hear from you all online. What were some of your ideas that Omar had? Oh, Omar had. Okay, so Omar, I'm going to turn this over to you. We want to hear from you all.
Thank you, Jarrell. Okay, so for our group, Alberto and Diana were very vocal in regards to what they brought was important for this domain for education. So the library and teaching. Alberto mentioned that more schooling for children. Children need to understand the importance of learning and school, painting and creativity, to be proud of their art and their accomplishments. Another point that they touched on was more support and involvement after school programs for elementary schools. And this is something that Suk brought up was, again, after school programs are very vital, especially for working parents, single parents, anything of that nature. Do we have enough after school programs? Is there a large enough capacity to be able to hold the students? Is it something that's seen across the different districts in the area? Because although we may see some, it doesn't mean that it falls on for all of them. Parent support for empowerment, more motivation for students, communication on what and how they prefer to learn. So this being for students. Excuse me, Daniel also mentioned that there's a Parents with Children 0 to 5 program at the end of the month. So that's definitely something to look out for. And then for the second section was parenting classes to help support the children and themselves work with what you have. Parents, in some aspects, and again, this is not in a negative connotation, parents sometimes aren't educated enough to assist their children. Therefore, educating them alongside their child can help build a stronger bond and assist the family as a whole. So again, going back to literacy programs for adults also assist students because they can go ahead and help out their children. Another aspect that was brought up was sometimes if there is substance abuse for parents, they need to be able to help themselves before they can help their children, because sometimes those emotional abuses with substances can go ahead and affect the way that children learn and how they're able to continue growing with a household like that. So again, not a negative connotation, but we want to go ahead and look at how we can alleviate some of the issues. So thank you.
Thank you all for sharing the word with online community. So now we're getting to this point. I want to thank everyone for their contribution and just for coming up, because we didn't even finish. So coming up with these creative ideas, but we haven't finished. We still had a couple more ideas. We didn't talk about what we personally could do, what we see as our assets, because remember, we talked about our superpowers, our brain, hands, our heart, which are you. When you think of your superpowers, what could you possibly do to make an impact with your own personal asset, your superpower, for what impact could you make for education in our community? What impact can you make on child, youth, and families? So I want you to think about that. Now, I want you to, as our closing thoughts, in the chat box, for those of you who are online and for those of you who are present, I want to hear at least one word that stands out to you of what took place today as we reviewed the impacts of child, youth, and families, how we can help, what are some occasions to make a difference, what's already happening, everything that we discussed. In the chat, I want to do the waterfall. I want you to put one word in the chat box that stands out to you. And we're going to read it in the room. I just want you to start yelling out a word, okay? At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Knowledge, encouraging, hopeful, empowering, initiative, advocacy, engagement, passion, cooperation, collaboration, resilience. We have some strong superpowers in this group, and there is nothing we can't do. If we see it and believe it, we can do it and achieve it. That's our superpowers, because we got the hands, hearts, and the brains.
Americans, not Americans.
Oh, no, she didn't. She just dropped the mic on us. Sylvia dropped something all deep and wonderful. We are Americans, not the Americans. Okay, you got me on that one. I did not see that one coming. You go, girl. That was good. I'm stealing that. I'm just saying, I'm going to steal it. I'm just going to use it. I'm telling you. I got to remember that. So these are some things, some thoughts that come when we look at what we can do. What are some opportunities? And I want you to think about it. Stephanie's going to be sending out this list, and we're going to put together from what we gathered from the jam boards and what we gathered here, but with the questions. I want you all to continue thinking about what impacts can we personally make? And then it's going to prompt you to do some research. Who's already working on these things out here? We came up with just a list of a few, but there are some other people out here that we just need to investigate. Who is doing something in this area?
You can walk into a WIC office and you'll have resources.
Sure
and
can.
Start seeing who's doing this, who's doing that. You can go. I mean, it's going to give us the opportunity for us to wherever we go. This is where advocacy starts, right? It starts where we go. It starts at the grocery store. Starts at the hair salon. It starts at all these places that we start looking for things we maybe never saw before. We maybe never saw that when I walk into the dry cleaners, there's a bulletin board of all these different resources. Maybe I'm going to find something that pertains to child, youth, and families, or pertains to education. We just have to now start looking where we go, our surroundings, and we're just going to become more and more knowledgeable on what really is out there, or what it isn't, or what and then what we need to get.
Yeah. So I want you to think about that. This is your mission. Should you accept it? Should you choose to accept this mission? Scour and map out your community, where you live in your area. You don't have to go far, just in your community, within a 5-mile radius. What is available? What is out there, or what is out there? So just begin to think about that.
To make this your ongoing scavenger hunt, really.
Yeah, a scavenger hunt of research. Our team did that. It was awesome. We got together and just, we did a drive-by, and found, yeah. We just happened to stop at Charlie Brown's to get something to eat. But other than that, we really did work. We were going around to find what is out here, or what used to be out here that's not there anymore. And we did find that out. What used to be here, but it's not here anymore. So we have some work to do. Now we're going to go to our community announcements. Listen, this is coming up on the 29th of September, Daddycation, because we're going to touch on some of the impacts that fathers have in our families, especially 0 to 5, but it is going to be phenomenal. You can use the QR code, you can scan it and get tickets. I know it's going to be a wonderful event. They're going to have food. It's going to be at UAB, but Valley Oasis is Investar partner to do this. It's called Daddycation. I love that name.
It's for adults only. So
oh yeah, adults only.
Allowed, but it really is. They're really looking to bring out more people from the community that can actually. They'll show the documentary, and then after the documentary, they're gonna have like kind of a panel, and they'll have people from like Father Strong or other organizations that are working with boys and men and children But it's going to be really good, and it's going to give people the opportunity to talk about their experiences in the community too, in the Antelope Valley, and how there are a lot of dads out there that do want to be part of the life of their children and do want to do things to better those resources for the community. It's going to be a really amazing event. And it's fully catered by full sit-down dinner. So really encourage everybody to sign in and go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be at UAB.
It's on Eventbrite.
And it's on Eventbrite, so you can, the 20, yeah.
We can send you the flyers. Every flyer that is presented today, any of the information that's presented, Stephanie will send it out with the information. She'll send out a flyer of all the flyers. Excuse me, an email with all the flyers.
Yes. Again, and as it so happens, here we have Youth with a Purpose join the Mommy Mentor Group, the network. And this is a support of moms, new moms. And they are paired with a mentor to help them through the pregnancy, through the first couple of years of parenting, things to know, connecting them, supporting moms. So this is out here, and you can become a part of that. You can use the QR code, scan me. Also, we have the Antelope Valley Community Reentry, the DOORS program, which is actually located at CCAB. But this is a reentry program for those families or parents that are needing additional support and entering into our community with housing, connecting with resources and support. So these are things, you'll get these flyers, you can read through them. If you know those who might be interested or why am I talking? That might need that. It's not even on, I don't know why I'm talking about nothing. Okay, who might need this resource, you'll get these flyers. Diana Couch, our own Diana Couch is offering another alternative to violent project. She's also doing this workshop. Again, this is the second time, huh? Second series. So we have workshop 12, 13, and 14. You can register. Please take advantage of this for our violent prevention. Is there anything?
The Eventbrite link is in the chat for those that are there virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
hold on, Diana.
Started,
okay, it's already started.
12 has started.
12 has started, but you can do 13 and 14.
Yes, you can start 13 or 14. 13 is on Zoom.
13 is on Zoom, it's on virtual, and 14 is in person. So you can walk in. But again, you will receive these flyers. All right. And we're back. Trauma-informed masterclass and train the trainer. Engaging with diversity, equity, and inclusion. That started Wednesday. It started yesterday for the Engaging with the Equity, Engaging the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion series began with Danielle Johnson yesterday. But you can still participate. Go ahead and enroll on Eventbrite. You can enroll on Eventbrite, right, Steffi? Yeah.
We will also send out the flyers that have the link with our email after this meeting.
Yeah.
Do we need to enroll for each day separately?
Do we need to enroll for each day separately?
No. So it's just you just register and you'll just the reminders to wait a day and then
when no,
just one time.
So it's a one-time, you sign up, you can keep coming for the series for engaging with diversity, equity, and inclusion. On Eventbrite, just sign up and you'll get a reminder each week that the series is coming. You'll get a calendar reminder. Make sure you put that in there. Also, for our trauma-informed masterclass and train the trainer with Shannon Sheffalo. She's back. By popular demand, we will begin that series in October. It is on Eventbrite. This series will be held in person for 5 days. The last be specifically for train the trainer. So you want, believe me, you want to enroll in this class because you can use it. In fact, one of our participants took the information, came through the Train the Trainer, took all of her, she went through with Train the Trainer and took it back to Africa and trained over 100 pastors in Africa to do informed with the villagers and surrounding areas. So you can use this information. It is a wonderful toolkit. So if you want to enroll, go on our Eventbrite, Trauma Informed.
One of the beauties of Trauma Informed Masterclass and Train the Trainer is what we've seen in other places is that when school districts, when police departments, when different areas of a community take on the framework of trauma-informed care, you see drastic changes. They did Shen did a project with one of the school districts in Detroit, where they had absenteeism at like 400%. Okay. Wow. The whole school, the school district, the bus drivers, the cafeteria people, the janitors, everybody took on the framework. This last year, it dropped to 200 people in 1 year, as opposed to like 400%, which was like thousands of days. So it's really taking on this framework and using it in our everyday life. It affects, it touches on everything we do, on everything how even us as adults, how we still react to certain things because maybe we still haven't addressed some of that trauma, right? So it's a phenomenal thing, and we're going to continue working with Shen. We want to spread it. We want this to be trauma-informed AV. That's the biggest goal that we're going to spread it everywhere.
And they could say it came out of Best Start AV. Yes, because we are Americans. Right? All right. Follow us. Scan that QR code and you can keep abreast to everything that is going on with your Best Start AV. We are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Well, we have made it to the end. Thank you so much for joining us. You all are awesome. We did some awesome work today. Thank you for those of you who joined us online. I know you had a lot to do and have a lot to do today, but thank you for taking time out to participate and share your thoughts, ideas, and your superpowers with Best Start AV. You all have a great day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.